Welcome to the Power of Biz YouTube channel. My name is Tim Delaney, and over the past 11 years, I've purchased businesses and real estate to build my financial independence. My journey began with buying my first business with just 10% down, and through hard work and strategic decisions, I've been able to create the life that I want. I started this channel to share my story and experiences with the hope that I can help you do the same. Whether you're looking to break free from the 9-to-5 grind, build long-term wealth, or take control of your financial future, you're in the right place. Join me as we explore the ins and outs of buying businesses, the challenges and rewards, and the practical steps you can take to create the life you desire. Together, we'll navigate this exciting journey to financial freedom. Here's the 6 things that I hate about running my own business. All right, I talk a lot about the positive things about buying a business, running a business, owning a business, and real estate. But let's face it, there's always going to be things that you don't enjoy about something. So today I'm going to run through the 6 things that I really don't enjoy about running my own business. Number 1, payroll. And I don't just mean paying other people. I have no problem paying my employees for the great work that they do. It's rewarding for me and for them that I get to pay people to do things that they enjoy doing and that help all of us and the business run. What I mean by payroll, what I hate about payroll, is all of the paperwork and the regulations that come with it. Besides filing taxes, paying the taxes on it, there's constantly changes from the state government about minimum wage, about exempt employees, about unemployment insurance, all these things that kind of change regularly, get letters in the mail, have to figure out whether it's something I need to take action on or not. It's just a very frustrating process and something that should be a little bit more straightforward and easy to do. It just kind of weighs on me, which is also one of the reasons that I highly recommend using a payroll company, something that I did from day one. It was very interesting because when I purchased my business, the previous owners were not technologically inclined at all. They did a lot of things with traditional pen and paper books, old school cash registers, and I was bringing in a lot of technology and things to the business from day one. And they did all of their payroll by hand in a book, calculated out all the taxes with their calculators and remitted all the taxes themselves. This is something that I want nothing to do with. The ramifications of making mistakes on that kind of stuff are too high, so I immediately outsourced that to a payroll company. But even with that, still just the hassles of all of these letters and notifications that I get on a regular basis make it just something I can't stand about doing business and being responsible for. Number 2 on the list is very closely related, is human resources. Again, I love working with people, I love having employees, but the intricacies of having employees and the rules, regulations, laws around it can be so frustrating at times. Trainings, certifications, all these types of regulations that come in constantly, at least in my state, and I'm sure in other states as well, that we have to make sure that our employees are up on, that are doing, that are following these regulations. Posters, signs that I have to keep hanging up and changing in my store constantly so that employees know their rights and what the different rules and regulations are, which, don't get me wrong, everybody's entitled to, but I feel like in today's day and age, we could have a website from the state dedicated to that stuff that I could regularly direct employees to, instead of being responsible for hanging up new pieces of paper around the store every so often. Again, the paperwork for hiring, the paperwork that has to be done on a regular basis to just keep everything up to date in that HR realm is extremely frustrating, and just one of those things about owning a business that is honestly not very fun, I guess, unless you come from an HR background and that's your jam. But for me, just one of those things that I really, really don't enjoy. Number 3 on the list, taxes. All right, I know nobody really likes to pay taxes, nor do I, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about. It's more so the headaches and processes around paying the taxes, particularly sales tax. So when you're in any type of retail environment, you have to, in most states, there's some type of sales tax related to that. In New York, because I ship products to different areas of New York, not only do I need to collect sales tax for my county when I'm making a sale, but I need to figure out and recalculate the rates based on where I'm sending the products. Yes, my point of sales will do it, but we have to change the settings when we're making those sales and processing those sales. And then every 3 months when I'm remitting my taxes to the government, I need to go through line by line and tell them how much dollar amounts I sold for each county. It's just something that's frustrating, time consuming, and a kind of an extra burden on small business owners that gets a little bit frustrating. And again, one of those things that I get very annoyed with about owning my own business. Number 4 on the list is unsolicited calls and emails. I get up to a dozen of these phone calls and emails every single day from payroll companies, HR companies, merchant processing companies, banks, advertising companies, social media experts, SEO experts, just constantly bombarded with unsolicited calls and emails. Emails are one thing. Obviously, our spam filters and our just in general inboxes are easier and easier to manage and help filter out that stuff. But the phone calls can be extremely frustrating because they're not only wasting my time, but they're pulling staff away from customers in the store for them to go answer the phone and deal with something that we don't even need. Paper goods. We get calls from paper companies constantly. We don't even use that much paper anymore, but these paper companies feel like we're going to be big business. Energy companies, and I understand in some businesses they use a lot of natural gas or a lot of electricity to make a product or do something, so there can be significant cost savings. But in a retail store where I'm running LED bulbs and that's it, our electric savings isn't going to be very much from switching from one provider to another. And I feel like some of these companies really don't do their homework before they even bother to make calls like this. So that's just another one of those little things that gets annoying. Number 5 is the unpredictable nature of cash flow and revenue. We can have an amazing weekend just randomly one day and completely down the next. It's unpredictable by nature, running your own business. And let's face it, it's not something I really, really hate. Obviously, I would take that over a consistent paycheck for the rest of my life. That's why I do my own business. It's what I enjoy about it. But it can be draining at times, or a little bit frustrating or nerve-wracking when things are constantly going up and down. So just something to consider if you ever do plan on getting into your own business yourself. That unpredictable nature can be something that's a little bit stressful. Number 6 is credit card processing. This is a super necessary evil in most businesses nowadays. We have to accept credit cards, especially in a retail environment, but even a lot of businesses out there are just at a point where they have to take credit cards. And the credit card companies charge fees. And those fees have, they add up. It seems small, a couple percent here and there, but it starts stacking up and adding up and can be a big drain on a business. It is something that I've factored in from day one, try to make sure that the margins are good enough to cover those fees, but they still irk me all the time, especially lately. When I first purchased my store, I was shopping for a point-of-sale system. While I was shopping for that system, one of the biggest factors that I took into consideration was having the flexibility and ability to choose my merchant processor, the company that charges me the fees to process the credit cards. And I did this because I know that credit card fees add up. And I knew that by shopping it around every year or so, I would be able to get the best rates possible. Now, unfortunately, with the advent of the chip technology, the EMV processing, a lot of the point of sales companies brought the credit card processing in-house, and they kind of force the merchants' hands to do the processing through them. I guess it's for security reasons. It makes it easier for them to process that type of technology, but it also kind of has produced a monopoly on the credit card processing. I can't shop it around as much anymore because I would have to pay astronomical fees to my point of sales company to allow me to use a different processor, which would kind of outweigh any gains in savings I would get. Plus, there's extra steps and hurdles for my employees to do those transactions and more room for error. So, those are the 6 things that I really hate about business: payroll, HR, taxes, unsolicited calls, kind of just the unpredictable nature of the business. Now, even though I hate those things, I would not trade owning my own business for going back to a W-2 job for anything. These are things that I don't like, but they by far don't outweigh the benefits that I get from owning my own business and the joy that I get from providing jobs for people, from being in control of my own income and my own life. So just because there's negative things doesn't mean that they are that bad that I would go trade it for anything. Really hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to your comments below about things that you don't like in your business or things that you don't like in your job, and whether those outweigh or would drive you to do one thing or another. If you like this, please hit the subscribe and like buttons, and please share this with a friend. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.